Once you're situated, we'd appreciate if you just introduce your staff that's with you, and I can read the question if you like that we're presenting to everyone.
I've read the question if you want to dispense with that.
Well, then you may just carry on with your presentation.
Okay, great. Hi, I'm Mel Fowler Green. I'm the director at the Metro Human Relations Commission, and I have with me today our board chair, Mr. Frank True. First, I want to thank all of you for this opportunity to talk to you about the work that the commission is doing and that we're going to do in the coming year. As you may know, I'm still relatively new. I've been the director at the commission for about 15 months, and in the last 15 months, the commission and my office have worked very hard to envision and implement modern and strategic programs and initiatives. And currently, we accomplish our goal and our mission using sort of 4 broad methods: events and training, innovative programs and projects, compliance efforts, data collection, analysis, and evidence-based policy recommendations. So far this fiscal year, we've sponsored, co-sponsored, or spoke at 42 programs, events, and trainings. These programs have touched over 100,000 constituents. Involved over 80 partners, including statewide organizations, local nonprofits and businesses, educational institutions, and other Metro departments. Some of them range from rather large programs like Celebrate Nashville, the MLK Day March and Convocation, Pride, Human Rights Day. We also have done some impactful press conferences. We've participated in guest lectures, roundtables, panel discussions. We have had substantive community education programs. We've done Title VI training, and we've done mobile diversity seminars. Over half of those programs involved actual speaking or training opportunities, and all 42 of those programs, they weren't just programs that we attended. Those are programs that we actually co-sponsored, sponsored, or actually helped implement. In addition to those, our office and our commissioners attended dozens of other events that were intended to encourage constituents to participate in civic engagement. And it was not uncommon for us to be the only Metro government representative to the community at a number of those events. We do, in the next year, intend to continue that kind of programming and those events. We also hope to expand where possible. For instance, we're currently developing a new mobile diversity seminar for the recruits at the Metro Police Academy. We're doing a day-long cultural competence training for the recruits. We're also considering a training program for neighborhood organizations who are dealing with conflict as a result of transitioning neighborhoods. And while we're very proud of the training and the programs that we are doing, under my direction, the commission has begun to focus more than ever before on data collection, analysis, and evidence-based policy recommendations. I genuinely believe in evidence-based solutions to civil rights issues. And I think that the commission believes that with proper staffing and funding, we can be uniquely suited to provide that kind of service for civic leaders like yourselves, as well as for our constituents. And to that end, in this past year, I hired a sociologist to help us, guide us in our research and our policy to ensure that the work that comes out of our office is both high quality and accessible. Our office recently issued our second Inclusivics report, analyzing the demographics of the workforce at Metro Nashville Public Schools. Second in the line of sort of that brand. We have been asked, I'm really proud to say we've been asked to come talk about that report all over the city from a number of organizations, including the Latino Education Coalition, the NAACP, and the Area Chamber of Commerce, their Education Committee. In the next 3 years, we intend to produce more reports and policy recommendations under that brand. We're also working on a number of other research and policy initiatives, including a Metro-wide language access study, an open data initiative, and a host of other policy recommendations related to civil rights, human rights, diversity and inclusion, and criminal justice reform. And we believe that we can continue this good work within the budget included in the mayor's budget. And I would nonetheless ask that you might consider an improvement that we requested that unfortunately was not included. We currently have 4 full-time staff employees. I have myself, and I have 3 professionals with advanced degrees who specialize in community engagement, somebody who does our policy and research, and operations and special projects. So this structure and significant investment that we're making in talent does provide us the opportunity to engage really substantively on the issues that we're dealing with. The staff, however, is often burdened and distracted with administrative functions that would, in fact, be more efficiently done by an administrative assistant. All of our projects and initiatives have a great deal of moving parts. Event planning, data processing, technical assistance, routine communications. And if these duties and other routine office duties were handled by an administrative assistant, then our professional staff would be freed up to concentrate more on constituent services and our substantive work around policy, research, community education, compliance, and conflict management. More administrative support would also allow me to free up a little bit of my time to do some grant writing, which I have experience in grant writing. I would love to be able to bring that experience to Metro and to the commission in order to grow some of our programming. So if you would please consider that request, we would really much appreciate it, and I'm open to any questions.
Thank you, Director. Council Lady Gilmore.
Thank you, Chair Primore. Thank you for being here. Good to see you.
Thank you, you too.
I had just 2 questions.
Okay.
One is for, I heard you say you're going to do something with neighborhood conflict going into the communities. Have you looked at partnering with the Neighborhood Resource Center for that?
That's exactly who we are partnering with. Thank you very much.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Okay, good deal. And then, actually, I have 3 questions.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then the second one was, you mentioned that you needed an assistant to do administrative work versus asking for a grant writer. I was trying to see how you determined more of an administrative assistance versus just getting a grant writer so you could go out and do what you need to do, and how much would that position cost? And then I have one more question.
Okay. Honestly, I think that an administrative position is, it would be less than a professional grant writer. Now, we could, of course, consider contracting some of our grant work. I have been a grant writer for local arts nonprofits before I came to Metro, and I know it's hard for contract grant writers to really capture social justice work and what we're trying to do. But I don't need somebody just to do grant writing. We have all of our professional staff have administrative functions that if we had an administrative assistant to serve all of us, like this wouldn't be my assistant. This would be it would support all of our work.
And then I wanted you to speak a little bit more about capturing the data. You said you're going to use some type of system. If you could just explain how that works and how you work with other departments and how you decide what to capture. Because when we talk about social justice issues, those are very important. But how do you capture that, and what do you capture?
Well, we spent a lot of time this year looking at what kind of data exists and what kind of data can we ask for, from whom, and to what end. And we don't do this on our own. Much of the work that we do around our data initiatives are in partnership with other local initiatives and organizations like A Voice for the Reduction of Poverty, the Coalition to End the New Jim Crow. We work with other advocates, and we hear from constituents, like what kind of information and analysis would assist them, and can we find the data to analyze it? So some things like our Inclusivics project was relatively simple because those were demographics that were available in payroll data at Metro and at MNPS. If you're asking for some criminal justice related data, it becomes a little more complicated.
And so are we able to find the inclusive report? Is it online already?
Yes, it is.
That. And then also, this is my last question. The professional and purchase services have changed over the years, and that's fine. And I just want to see, is it because you've joined certain organizations, or what would account for those changes from 2015 to 2016-17? It's a big jump on page H44. Under other services, is right under utilities. It says professional and purchase services.
I'm sorry, I don't see that. Hold on. We have a very small increase in our budget this year. We've gone from 433,900 to 435,200.
Yeah, I'm with
That
you, but
increases with the internal services.
no. This says
Oh, I'm sorry, babe.
professional and purchase services. It was 2015, it was 2009, and then for 2016 and 2017, it's been 35,600.
Oh, I know exactly what that is. Sorry, bear with me.
Yeah, no worries.
I'm still learning.
No worries.
That was part of a request last year for the purpose of doing more evidence-based policy work. So we had intended, frankly, to spend most of that on contract services for social policy social scientists. To be honest, I really lucked into an amazing staff member who is nearing, she's getting her PhD, she's almost done from Vanderbilt, that I was able to hire full-time on our staff. So while I had intended that to go for contract services, I'm happy to have a person on staff to do that work.
Use that for that purpose of hiring the staff?
Yes.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Gilmore. Councilman Schulman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Fallon Green, I appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Just maybe two quick questions. One is you mentioned something that you're doing with the police department.
Yes.
In terms of training.
Yes.
Could you explain that just a little bit more?
Sure. Last October, we partnered with the National Organization for Workforce Diversity. We offered a day-long mobile diversity seminar for HR professionals. And it was a huge hit. We had really great press out of it. There was 100 people that signed up. We had to turn people away. And using that same model of, rather than sitting in a conference room to hear talking heads talk about diversity and inclusion, what we're doing is a day-long in the field seminar for the whole recruit class. We are taking them to the Islamic Center of Nashville, to Casa Asafran, to Out Central, and to Fisk. And at each location, we're having substantive speakers and interactive conversations with the community and community members about, how officers can address conflict within those communities and build trust.
It sounds like a good program. Just one last question.
Sure.
Do you do that with any of the other departments, particularly those folks that have lots of contact with the community?
I would love to.
Okay.
We, October was our first such seminar, and this one in June will be the first one that we will do for the police department, though we anticipate that it will become a regular part of the recruit training. And yes, I would very much like to offer that kind of service to other departments.
All right, thank you. Thanks, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Withers.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you for coming, Director Fowler Green. I
you.
serve on the Personnel Committee, and we welcome you to come to our committee anytime so we can have a stronger relationship than we do. I just know that I'd love to learn a little bit more about yourself and your staff. Anytime you want to come to one of our committees, let myself or our chair, Councilmember Murphy, know.
Well, great. Thank you for the invitation.
Yeah. Just wanted to point out that I'm aware that there's a very large board, a large number of members of that board, and if you could describe a little bit about how your staff maybe interact with the board in working through the number of events that you do, just so that we can understand that a little bit better, number one. And then number two, I know at least one of my constituents is one of those commissioners and had let me know about the request for an administrative staff position. If you could let me know if there are potentially any opportunities in the event that the council is not able to maybe fund a full-time position, if a part-time position would work, or if there might be opportunities for that staff person maybe to work with other departments as well in a shared capacity, just for our consideration. But would appreciate any information on that. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you for the questions. Our commission is the largest in Metro. We have 17 commission members. I would use the phrase herding cats, but I would not want to offend anybody, but Frank's laughing. It's a large commission. And, as you know, we have we comply with open meeting requirements. And so just organizing the commission itself provides some significant administrative burden. But what's great about having 17 members is they are from all over the city, from all different backgrounds, incredibly diverse, rarely agree, all 17 of them, on anything. So we get robust conversations about real substantive issues at the commission. And I will return the invitation and ask, we would love to have you come join us at one of our commission meetings. They're the first Monday of every month at 4 o'clock. As to the possibility of a part-time administrative assistant, yes, we would benefit from a part-time administrative from some part-time administrative assistants. And I suspect that some of the things that we would ask of that position would be the same as other departments, right? So there would be some general common knowledge, so they could possibly serve other departments.
Thank you, Councilman. Seeing no others in the queue, Director, we certainly appreciate you being here and appreciate the presentation.
Thank you.
Have a good day.